Hello, good morning. I'm going to talk about Mindanao culture, specifically the history. So I noticed when I go around, Mindanao, and I look at the various crops that are on for sale during the, let's just say, festivals. The one thing I always notice is the malong, the Filipino wear called the malong, which is actually indigenous and it comes from Muslim culture. These malong are like patterns printed on like a cloth and very nice patterns. But what's interesting is not about what's on the cloth, but where it's found. Because not only is the malong a feature in Moro culture or Islam culture here in the Philippines, it's also found in places like Malaysia. If you search up Filipino or Philippine malong, and you also search up, for example, Malaysian sarong, you can see that they're a bit the same. If you go and search Indonesian sarong, it's the pattern is almost the same. It's almost identical. And what this means is that no, we did not steal their culture. The Moros from the Philippines did not steal their culture or somehow appropriated it. It just goes to show that the history of Mindanao goes far deeper. The Philippines was already inhabited before the Spanish came. And this early history is what shaped the Mindanaoan culture today. Because it's important to know that our culture did not come, it just did not spring up by itself. It came from migration, it came from immigration. So here I am, I'm going to talk to you about the history, the early history of the Philippines, or the early history of Mindanaoan settlements, and how we got our culture from Islam. So the theory is that way back then, before 900 AD, the popular theory is that Malaysians and a sultanate from Brunei sent their envoys, their missionaries, through Tawi-Tawi. As if you look at the Philippine map and you zoom in on Mindanao, you can see there's a group of islands you can easily hop onto. They're like stepping stones from Malaysia to Mindanao. So that's Tawi-Tawi, Sulu, and then the last hop of the journey is Zamboanga. And you can see there that Tawi-Tawi, Sulu, Zamboanga, that's all the places that we know of to be our ARMM, or what we know now as the Bangsamoro state. The Bangsamoro state. So you can see that the people from Brunei, from Malaysia and Indonesia, they came here by a boat. So it's interesting to see because back in 1976, they discovered this massive boat, which they dubbed the Butuan Mothership, or Butuan Boat Number 1 and Butuan Boat Number 2. So these were a pair of boats. They're all very old. The first one was like 900 AD. The second one was 1270 AD. These boats are old. The Spanish came here, 1800? So Islam came here way before the Spanish were here. And it goes to show that our culture is heavily similar to theirs in Mindanao. For example, Islam is a major religion here in the Philippines, especially in Mindanao. Our boats, our balangkays, they're shaped similarly to the old historical boats found in Brunei and Malaysia and Indonesia. Our words are the same. Salamat in Philippines. It also has a counterpart in Malaysia and Indonesia. Anak is also a very familiar word. It means son in the Philippines, and I'm sure anak is also found in the word anak is also found in Brunei, in Malaysia, and Indonesia. So as also like the malong, its origin, it's not just just came out of nowhere. It's not a recent event, it's not a recent phenomenon. Its roots are much deeper than that. Our clothing, our wear, for example, the malong, the the skull hat they wear. It's all coming from them, and it's all thanks to that maritime Silk Road. The theory of the maritime Silk Road was that it came from the Middle East and it made its way down through the Strait of Malacca into Malaysia, Indonesia, and finally to us. So whenever you see a malong, or whenever you see like balbakwa or whatever, those different foods, different cultures, different traditions, different art styles, you could say that it came from a much deeper place. It came from a maritime silk trade, and that silk trade did not just trade in, silk, spices, or what have you. It also traded culture and tradition and customs, specifically found in Islam. So I think it's very interesting to see how our country developed from the migration of people from the Middle East, from Brunei, from Malaysia, from Indonesia, all the way to us. It's a very nice thing to contemplate on, that the Philippines is a hodgepodge of many different cultures with very deep roots. So yeah, so thanks for listening. I guess that's it.